All right, well, good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Tyler.
How is everybody?
Very well, thank
Very
you.
good.
Nice, thank you.
I had an interesting ride in this morning. It took me an hour and 20 minutes to get in this morning.
Excellent.
Because they
Excellent.
shut the freeway down
Oh,
because there was a shooting.
yeah.
Oh,
Did
dear
anybody
God.
hear that?
Seeing that,
Did
yeah.
anybody see that on the news?
No.
Yeah.
So it was 94 eastbound, obviously. And it said on the board as I was driving by, 5 miles ahead, freeway's closed, right? Well, my GPS said 4 miles. I'm like, oh, I can just sneak off and get around. Didn't know really what was going on, right? Well, that didn't happen. So then I had to get off of Mayfair Road. Take Mayfair. If anybody goes by the zoo, those stoplights, I think take a full 10 minutes
Oh,
to turn
yeah.
from red to green, and they stay for 20 seconds. So anyways, everybody was doing the Mayfair thing. Well, then I, hop past WLC. Well, then that exit's still blocked off. So then I had to go all the way to Miller Park. Hop on Miller Park, back onto 94, and it was just a real treat. And then on Tuesday, I took 43 in, thinking I'd get a little cute with it, Then there was that rollover accident. It was just, 2 freeway shutdowns in 1 week, I tell you.
Where was the shooting?
I don't know. I didn't hear details. I just heard that it was somewhere on the freeway.
Oh, road rage.
Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully nobody was injured. I don't know any details. It's just what I heard, but I assume that some of you may have seen
They
it. on the
closed
news.
the freeway and looking for the shell casings.
Mm.
Because my daughter's been through that twice, where
Oh.
they've closed the freeway down to find the casings.
Dear God.
Yeah. So,
So they can prove.
anyways, that's well far away from East Castle Place, So, but yeah, it was an interesting start to the morning.
Yeah.
Not one that you anticipated, but nonetheless, here we are. So, anybody have questions to start?
What's the day they're going to close down this little hallway here that is
Should be-
almost okay?
Right now.
It is Friday, okay.
Yep, that's what my memo says. So I've been somewhat accurate. You'll receive another one, but so what Sandra's speaking to, and we'll just kind of jump into the construction update, is they will be cutting into the historic building to connect the newly built ramp into what is a closet right now. And then, in order to do that, they have to do what they call shoring. And so they have to maintain the structure above, obviously the first, second, third, and fourth floor, so that we don't start having some bricks crumble. So engineers, structural engineers, everybody signed off on it, so that's what they're supposed to start today. That is supposed to happen today and possibly on Monday as well. So it's going to be loud. If you live in the historic building, it will be loud. And Judy is one of the more impacted individuals since that.
I could take it.
Yeah.
Good.
You've already been out for a mildew, maybe they'll give you the guest room.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, but yeah. So that's a big piece. The other big piece is that you'll see in your memo today is the Bradford Terrace lobby. We ran into a little bit of a hiccup, so that won't open until Wednesday morning. So I know initially I said Monday, we're 2 days behind there. They will have full construction crews on site Saturday and Sunday, working through those pieces. It is coming together. We are set and looking for inspection either the 19th of this month or the 25th of this month. That will allow us to then go for licensure of the floors 1 and 2. But Bradford Terrace lobby will be open starting on Wednesday morning, roughly around 10 a.m. And it will be a finished space. The only thing that will change is it won't be the permanent look because I have to move the front desk to the Bradford Terrace lobby again temporarily, because then once they get the south side of the commons done, then they go over to the north side and the front lobby is shut down from right now we're tentatively right around Thanksgiving till probably March.
Oh,
Wow.
So then
we go out towards the parking lot.
So that Bradford Terrace will be the main parking lot, and then we'll have a thoroughway kind of all the way through there, and then you'll be on the finished side of the main dining room, the general store, and things of that nature.
So then we would go in and out of the building through that.
Through Bradford Terrace,
Right.
correct.
Or the gazebo.
Or the gazebo, or water tower. Actually, for a little bit, because then the water tower will be shut down too. But one thing I did confirm is, initially I know I mentioned Lindsay Hall was going to be shut down beginning of December 6th. As I started piecing some more things together over the course of the last 2 weeks, working with some directors, working through really with Stacy, some logistics, been able to work with CG Schmidt. We're going to keep Lindsay Hall open through December, through January, through February, so that we can maintain activities while they're doing construction on the south side. And essentially, once they're done with the south side, which then will give us both the north and the south side, then they will take Lindsay Hall and do Lindsay Hall. So otherwise, we would be in a full-blown construction zone with basically Creativity Center as our only multi-purpose space, because obviously the water tower then also would be down during that time. So again, things change, and that's why obviously I think from the get-go I've always said tentative, right? Construction, if you've gone through it, tentative is really a good word to use. But we are getting some firm actual dates, more so for Bradford Terrace licensure. Again, the state does have a lot of power, so to speak, because we are on their timetable and schedules, but we have been working diligently with them. The city of Milwaukee obviously is also doing their inspections, which we just passed one this morning, which was critical for us to get to our final inspection. I did my first punch list yesterday with the architects and with the contractors. I got a lot of blue tape out and put it on the wall where they needed to do fixes and things of that nature. So again, it's a pretty long process, but it's exciting, and we will hopefully have residents beginning moving over to Bradford Terrace in November. So
you're gonna do Bradford 1 and 2, will the inspectors also be able to do memory and get
that is the plan.
So that's
that
the
will
one
be,
inspection that
that's
you
the-
all be done.
all done. Yep.
Fabulous.
And then we'll be pretty well certain done with everything on 1, 2, and 3. Obviously, there's going to be some miscellaneous pieces that we anticipate, but we do also anticipate furniture to start arriving on Monday, Tuesday as well, which will impact all 3 floors. So,
And new glasses, you've already gotten glasses, I think.
what's that?
New glasses for the dining room.
Yeah. So new glasses, new silverware, new napkins, linens, all of that is starting to arrive. So it's just, I mean, again, the easy part was when they were in the midst of the start of the construction. Now they start turning it over to us, and now it's up to us. So we're looking forward to that, and it's exciting. And so we will have what we'll call like a mini grand opening, so to speak, so that you as residents can see the space and feel the space. However, we are going to keep that door probably shut because it's not licensed yet. And so I want to maintain the licensure component, but we will be able to get in that space because we will be able to have occupancy by the city, hopefully, on the 25th at the latest. So your open house is planned for the 26th of October this month, so that you can touch and feel the space. We'll have probably 1 or 2 apartments available for you to see as well as the common areas, and we'll do cookies and coffee and things of that nature. So we're going to do that probably, don't quote me, but right around 2 to 4, 2:30 to 4:30, somewhere in that. And again, you'll just be able to touch, feel, kind of see that space. But again, that'll be for the water tower, for the assisted living residents, but also, our offices will start migrating back there as well. So, yeah, it's a lot. And then hopefully about 2 weeks later, they turn over the whole south side of the commons, and we get our main dining room back.
Are there more assisted living rooms, the new ones, than there are current ones?
No, there's 18, and we have 36 currently.
So that we've got half.
So the reason we made that decision was the RCAC, the licensure that we currently have, is set up to be truly that. The care that we were providing was really a higher level of care and really required, private duty aids and things of that nature. So it's really providing the right care for the right individuals. And so the RCAC level of care is a pretty unique one. And so we feel confident that 18 apartments will be able to meet the needs of you as residents. We relied a lot on the outside to utilize the assisted living, and that's where we saw a lot of changes in occupancy and a lot of fluctuation. And so that's where we're able to better monitor that. Yes?
Would you please define RCAC for me?
Residential Care Apartment Complex. So that is the state designation that they give the RCAC. So it's an assisted living. It's really what I'll call independent plus. We provide 3 meals a day. No more than 28 hours of care per week can be provided in that area. Much different than our memory care, that we can provide up to hospice care in that area. Also in the RCAC, you cannot have an activated POA. So you cannot be activated in order to be in that. You have to be your own person in order to enter that area.
And we have people who you can come from the outside. I mean, you've got private people. Are those the people who will no longer be there? I mean, I'm assuming that we have more than 18.
No, we don't. So we
Whittled it down. So
we haven't admitted people for
Okay.
like the last 8 months or so.
Okay.
And we've also have been able to work with families to transition individuals to a better level of care and more appropriate, because we wouldn't be able to get licensure with some of the individuals that were in assisted living just because of their level of care. And so we've started those transitions and have worked with families and things of that nature.
So is there room? I mean, I know someone who's kind of interested in looking at it. Are there still spaces available since you've whittled down the current population?
So currently we have a wait list.
Are there good doubles? Are there 2-bedroom places?
So we have 6 2-bedroom apartments. We have, I want to say, don't quote me on these because I'm still getting familiar with them. 6 2-bedrooms, 6 1-bedrooms, and 6 studios.
So they're.
So if there's a waiting list, where do I wait?
Right
if
here.
I need to go?
If you need to go, you jump the list. So the wait list is all currently outside residents. And so we will make sure and work with you if and when that becomes, what is necessary for that level of care.
So whoever is in independent now, if they should need assisted, they would get it when they needed it. They wouldn't have to wait.
Correct.
And then what happens to the poor guy you kicked out?
Well, nobody would get kicked out. Nobody would get kicked out.
Well, would I have a roommate? I mean, I don't understand.
No, you wouldn't have a roommate. So basically, obviously, we work with Teresa, and we work individually with everyone, right? And so when that need presents itself, it's usually not an overnight need, right? Because assisted living is set up for you to actively age in place. And so it's a part of your kind of process. If it's all of a sudden an emergency that you need assisted living, I'm going to tell you, you're probably going to go to skilled nursing because something dramatic happened and you're not going to be appropriate for assisted living until we get you figured out in what's going on. So you'll be in the skilled nursing area. That's on the 5th and 4th floors. Then we'll work with you to transition you into the appropriate level of care, whether that's memory care, assisted living, or back home. That's our normal process.
Do you need to be 2 people to get the 2-bedroom?
No.
No. Oh, that's wasteful.
Right. And will that population be allowed / welcomed into dining in the dining room and other activities?
So the independent living residents that have bought into East Castle Place that currently live in assisted living will be able to dine in the independent living dining room as they are able. However, if they have not bought into East Castle Place, they do not have rights into the independent living dining room. They have their own dining room, they have their own kitchenette, they have all their own activities, but that's part of our dining policy. So again, if you've bought into East Castle Place, this is your home for
Ever.
and so that's where coming in from the outside into a higher level of care like a skilled nursing, our dining policy is set up to maintain you as residents having your home. if
And that
makes sense.
policy will continue for those who are independent living now?
Correct.
Thank you.
A lot of the outsiders are temporary people.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
when I say we haven't admitted for 8 months, we've had people come in and out and they stay for 2 weeks and then they go back home. So we do have some of those transitions.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, it was just part of the plan in how we, again, obviously we have a few residents that have left, knowing kind of and wanting to get ahead of that. But again, it's gone for the most part pretty smooth because we've been able to maintain and keep everybody and give them options.
Can you give us any details on the store?
The general store?
Yeah.
The details will be it's large. It feels much larger. We will be transitioning a number of those things from the current store downstairs. There is cabinets and things of that nature, but shelving cabinets, you'll have glass, cases and refrigerators, things of that nature. The biggest change is that there will not be a door into the kitchen from the general store. We initially had thought that putting a door in the general store so that the kitchen staff could help staff that in downtimes, that is not going to happen. So we're going to be fully staffed by residents. But again, I don't want to say it's much larger. It is larger and the ceilings are higher in the general store, and we will be able to fit everything that we have currently plus more.
And when do you anticipate making this?
Transition 15th of November. So we'll have to shut the store down probably for a week to do the transition. I just don't have a good idea of when that's going to happen. I have an idea of the 15th is when the areas are going to be completely turned back over to us. But again, there's going to be a week or two for what we need to clear out, how we want to stock it, so we'll be looking to you as residents for a few things. Not the heavy lifting by any means, but it goes there, it goes there, it goes there, things of that nature.
And are we changing the merchandise? Are we adding to it?
I would love to add to it. I've talked, about getting some more East Castle Place type of things like sweatshirts and I mean the parents do the bags and the cards and things of that nature. So that I would love to see just some different things, some different options that again visitors that are coming from the outside to their loved ones in skilled nursing can stop there for a gift. Much like the hospitals have gift shops, right?
Do they have to have coupons?
No. No.
Because they can't win anything.
Because they have to charge you to someone account. I guess we're gonna take money in the future.
We will.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Well, it is, of course, every
Are the hours going
hospital.
to be different?
the hours are to be determined.
Oh.
So
In the hospital store, that's exactly, all of your people are the ones from the outside bringing presents to the people who are in the hospital.
right.
Whereas here, it's only the inmates who are buying.
So
I have yet to see a single ECP item sold.
really, okay.
So don't overdo.
I won't overdo. That's good to know. So yeah, I mean, again, I think it's getting exciting, but at the same time, there's a little bit of stress that comes along with that hopefully you won't feel as residents. But at the same time, there will be some gymnastics, as I call it, to do.
Yes.
Because obviously, the shoring, for instance, that's one piece. That is why also the ramp can't get built. They have to cut it in and then they can build the rest of the ramp. The plan is to have the ramp fully enclosed before winter. The retaining wall, I'm told, is going to be built by Thursday next week. So they have some work to do. But the first course, is that bottom course,
Yeah.
does take the longest because obviously you want to make sure that's very, very level because otherwise things don't start working. So, KEIs, we're going to work with us and, again, the courtyard is planned to be be complete before the snow flies. So, and there's snow flying in Eau Claire right now, so we gotta,
Yeah.
you know.
better
But
get-
again, it's not gonna stick, and again, we'll probably have our you know, the 60-degree, you know, fall weather before we know it again.
Next week.
Next week, 60s, there you go.
Tell me about beauty parlors.
Beauty parlors. So right now, first, how is the salon going?
Been there.
I was there
And it's a,
yesterday.
it's a wonderful salon upstairs.
Good.
Why are we gonna destroy it?
Because,
You gotta put a bar in there instead.
well, it's a, yeah, I mean, a kitchenette for you all to be able to utilize. So the salon is currently up in Water Tower. That one will remain. Bradford Terrace is currently in its
Oh.
finishing pieces. If you haven't been in the Bradford Terrace basement, that's where that salon is. You can see that, and that's what we will operate once we close down the Water Tower salon. We'll operate Water Tower up until we close Water Tower down, and then everybody will be going to Bradford Terrace while the salon is being built. In the new, brand new salon will be built in Water Tower.
So we've given up the idea about putting it down in the gym.
No, it's in the gym.
What?
Yeah, it's in the
Oh,
wellness
that's,
center.
okay.
It's in the wellness center. So yes. So yeah, everybody will be going over to the Bradford Terrace Beauty Salon,
Which is in the basement.
which is in the basement.
And what date is that now?
I don't know yet. You will get notice. Keep going to the Water Tower Salon,
Yeah.
and I haven't even given TS Salon. They're just getting it licensed right now through the state. So again, a lot of moving parts. So I will continue to do my best to keep you informed, as well as give you as much notice as possible of what is happening. And so that's why I think on Monday you received a memo door to door. I know that also included dining. I'm happy to report that dining will resume as normal next week, with the buffets being open and things of that nature. So you'll see that in the memo forthcoming. And then obviously we're getting excited to go back to normal dining, meaning dining each evening in your main beautiful dining room. I was able to walk the space yesterday. They have first coats of paint. They have the accents. They have the they're dropping the ceiling. I mean, again, I'm pretty biased, but I think it's going to be a pretty incredible space. The ceilings are heightened, so it feels much more open and larger. The private dining room feels much more open and larger. I think the chairs will all have casters on them, so you'll be able to move them easier.
Rupture yourself.
And then, obviously our staff are getting all new uniforms and things of that nature as well. So, and then your new bistro area is also pretty neat. So again, I think there's, the next, honestly at this point, 30 days is going to be pretty exciting. There's a lot of things that are and it's a lot, but it's interesting as well, and exciting. So
COVID report.
We currently have, no residents that have COVID. We have one employee that is remaining out. She will be returning tomorrow out of her quarantine. We were fortunate that it did not, much like what happened, 2 weeks ago with the residents in the independent living, why we did a quick, shutdown, it did not spread. The same thing happened with what I was nervous about was the rest of the kitchen staff. Obviously, they work in close quarters. It did not spread, and so again, the impact was not as significant as I felt or thought it was going to be. And those individuals are starting to return back. So we'll be back to normal on Tuesday next week and Thursday. So again, we're gonna have these upticks. We're gonna have kind of these waves. Staff are fully vaccinated, and by fully, they have at least their two shots. Over 70% have their third, including their booster. And now we're working towards, probably about 5 to 10% that have already received their 4th vaccine as well.
And we're doing ours here.
You're doing yours here next week, 2
Next
weeks
week.
from now?
24th.
24th. Is that 2 weeks from now? Yeah. And
Kind
then,
of, yeah.
yeah, 24th. And then flu shots also happened for staff last week. So all staff, it's a condition of employment, received their flu shots as well. So again, that we're over 80% on staff right now. The other 20% have a deadline that they have to meet in order to get their flu shot. So
And the memory care, they got their flu shots too.
yep,
Those who would allow it. No, I mean,
all of the healthcare areas received all their flu shots.
Yeah.
So, and then all of you hopefully were able to receive your flu shots
Yeah.
when we did the flu shot clinic. So, again, I think we're trying to do our best to protect ourselves as we go forward, and we'll continue to put in steps as necessary. So, yeah, it's one of those things that, I mean, I know we've probably all talked about it and thought it, and again, I don't want to say the new norm, but it's one of those things that I think will just continue. The fortunate part for me is the impacts we saw 2 years ago with people, passing away and really being impacted seems to be mitigated to a degree, meaning that the vaccines have lessened the effects of COVID. Not to say that the last couple of employees that have been out with COVID haven't been down and out with like a really bad cold/flu feeling, but nobody's been having to be hospitalized.
right, or ventilators or all
So that's been the good news if you're looking for a silver lining. But yeah, so that's the COVID update.
How's our kitchen staffing? Are we hiring? We're short, I think.
We've been hiring. We are the servers is a great need right now. So we're looking for some really strong serving candidates. Back of the house, we're pretty well on. Tanya started obviously from a dining room manager standpoint, so
Yes.
that's been a really nice addition. Now it's just finding her team. So we have a few strong individuals, including Sam, who's been doing a really, really nice job. But we just need to add some additional support. But the back of the house, I mean, Tim's here, obviously Kathleen. We just hired a fantastic prep cook, Margie. She's been doing an incredible job. So dishwashers, we're pretty good on. Stewards, I think we have maybe one opening. Stewards are the ones that are taking care of all the healthcare areas. Obviously, we'll become much more efficient when we're all in one building from a food and beverage operation as well. But that's really where our biggest need is right now is in our servers to make sure that we can care for you and take care of you on a regular basis.
And you have a new receptionist.
We do have a new receptionist, weekend receptionist, gentleman named Zach, I want to say his name is. So he'll probably be training this week.
He was training yesterday.
He was
It
training
very
yesterday. Good.
What's his
Got me a
name?
lift ride,
Good.
which is no small job.
There you go.
Zach.
Zach, I believe his name
What's
is.
his name?
Zach.
Zach.
Yeah. So he was a referral from James. Yeah.
Oh,
So look at
way
you.
to go.
I know all.
You should be a coffee with Sandra.
I'm out there, right? I'm always there at the front desk listening.
Oh. So yeah. Again, we continue to recruit and look for that. Right staff member. We don't just want to hire that warm body by any means, and I don't think any of our staff are, because that's you deserve a very, very strong staff member, and I think we have a very strong staff. So yeah.
Can I ask you another memory care question?
Sure.
Is there anybody on that floor who is specifically trained, specifically with certificates, with all that stuff, in dementia?
So all of our staff have gone through what our Heartfelt Connections training program is. That's LCS. But as far as outside of that, certificate-wise, we are looking at 2 individuals to get certificates and get that specific, dementia certification. I have full confidence in the staff that are there to take care of residents with dementia. We go over it in our orientation with all staff, regardless of position that they work in, because at some point, I promise them they're going to encounter somebody that does have a deficit of sorts. And so I just want to be sure that, if they are uncomfortable, that I have that conversation ahead of time so that we can work through that together. Because it's not the most comfortable situation. If you're coming in not with healthcare experience, it could be interesting, it could be different. And so wanting to make sure that our staff feels supported in that regard. At the same time, I don't want them to be afraid of it, because it's something that we need to embrace. It is something that I believe is what we're here for. And there's uniquenesses to every single individual that has some type of dementia. And again, that's where, having those specialized individuals to really lean upon will only help grow our team. So.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. What else? What other questions? We do have a community life kind of overview this afternoon. Stacy and I Stacy primarily, put together a great PowerPoint just to kind of really give an overview of what services are provided. We've been, the question was asked at the budget meeting, as one of your neighbors asked, what can we, meaning East Castle Place residents, do to help mitigate future increases, right? Not that any increase is ever going to be zero, but how do we not get back to where we are this month or this year? So one of those pieces is really in our transportation program. So Stacy, myself, and Scott put together a policy that we're going to share today. It's not necessarily new. It's in your handbook. It's primarily just a re-emphasis of it, and just also wanting to make sure that in the event that residents want to use the transportation for personal use or are having to cancel consistently, that there's factors in there that we can utilize to help mitigate some of that. Again, transportation is a reason that many of you are here, I believe. I think I will use it a lot to not have to deal with the stress of driving in like I did this morning. But that's one piece that's going to be rolled out, as well as just who her team is, what services she provides, what committees there are. We're also going to talk about the fitness center and what that looks like, really beginning in probably December, since the fitness center will be offline for a number of months. And so we have a plan in place for that. So I think again, it's not going to be a long presentation. It's probably going to be about 20 to 30 minutes tops. But where we want to see are the questions you have, and how we can better make sure that you are feeling engaged. She mentions communications and the committee there, which I think has done a fantastic job. But just more so, we need more individuals on the lifestyle committee as well. So I'll put a plug in there, so that we know what you as residents want. I know you all have incredible ideas and incredible resources that you allow us to use. And now with Lindsay Hall kind of changing, I basically was going to shut down a lot of the programming in December, so I'm going to ramp that back up. So Christmas at the Castle will still remain as scheduled, kind of with the programming in that as well. We are looking and anticipating doing a raffle. The raffle will just be up by Mike's office, because we don't want tables in the hallway where the hallways are already pretty short. So, so again, for those of you that haven't experienced a Christmas at the Castle, it's a pretty cool, really cool event that East Castle Place does. We sell the pickles, we sell coffee, we sell a number of things, plus we have sing-alongs, plus the main dining room and the kitchen staff will do a holiday brunch that day, and then we'll have probably coffee and cookies in the afternoon in the main dining room. So again, I know I'm not taking and being responsible for the Christmas at the Castle. Mike, Stacy, and I think a couple of the resident council members and subcommittees are kind of taking that on, but I will not probably be available because I may be out on my paternity leave if all things go well, and I'll be taking approximately 2 weeks initially to help out with my wife and soon to be new son, and again Hunter is still there.
Yeah,
So.
Hunter.
And I guess Bella too, the dog. You know,
of
can't
course.
forget the dog.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Are we getting all new equipment for the gym? I noticed in the brochure or somewhere, it says we have a state-of-the-art fitness facility. I think that ours is far from state-of-the-art.
Right now it is.
Well, the brochure is right now.
Yeah. So I mean, again, the treadmills are brand new. You know, that we put in. Those have the TV screens. We are getting 2 new steps with it. The weights, that weight set is new as of 2 years ago. And I think the only other piece that we're going to be looking at is a recumbent bike or something of that nature. So
Rowing machine.
a rowing machine. All right.
That good, full body workout.
Yeah. So again, we have great partners in that, so we will be looking at those pieces, but we will be repurposing the treadmills. Obviously, we bought 2 brand new ones. They're less than a year old. It'd be wrong of us to not.
Oh, yeah.
And then, like I said, the weight set, and then, but the 2 new steps, we will be getting new.
And it'll be bigger, so there's room for people to do Florex and jump around.
Correct.
So with all this upgrading, are there any plans to upgrade Spectrum, Wi-Fi, etc.?
Spectrum Wi-Fi. We don't. What's your concern with your Wi-Fi?
Well, I can't get Alexa to do her chores because of having so many people on Wi-Fi. I can't print my wireless printer. I have to buy an Apple to Apple or send it downstairs. What was the other thing Kevin said I can't do? Oh, record programs on the television.
So recording
That's a
programs on
different-
the
yeah.
television, that is something that's not included with East Castle Place in your monthly service fee. That is something you set up directly with Spectrum to add that package. We provide a basic package, which is I think up towards 60 channels or so. But if you want the recording capabilities, that's something you schedule and contract directly with Spectrum.
And apparently that's true for the other 2 things that I mentioned. So
Yes.
the answer is no, there is no plan to upgrade.
Well, to that level, because we still will. I mean, we've upgraded our switches and our Wi-Fi, and there are plans, obviously, for that to continue, and that's part of the annual maintenance. But for those specific needs, that is going to continue to be independent to the resident that wants them, as opposed to having it spread out over the entire campus and having everybody pay for a service that maybe they don't want.
If you were in your own house, you'd have to pay extra for the VCR kind of business too. I mean, I had it for a while. It's never in your basic.
Right. So, but
Alexa,
Wi-Fi
I don't know.
will always be provided. Basic cable will always be provided.
Thank you.
So I was gonna say, have Kevin met with you, because that was I had a note to I already started writing down your name and Wi-Fi and your issue, so I was gonna have Kevin stop up by you, but it sounds like Kevin's already.
So I was trying to get ECP to pay for it instead of me.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, if you don't ask, you don't know, right?
Good try.
Good try, thanks.
I want to know what else Alexa would do for you if we had something else, or if you could buy
She
it.
would turn my lights on and off. She would turn my humidifier on and off.
So she controls all your plugs. I mean, basically, where you plug in.
We've had residents that have, they might have upgraded their own system now that I think about that. Because we've had one resident do that.
Yeah, as Kevin said, I can do it. I just have to buy
Right.
the extra stuff from Spectrum.
Yeah.
Interesting. You could call me. I'll turn it on for you.
Sandra!
Yeah.
Tell them
Also,
Alexa.
she'll start going
These
by
are
Alexa.
really difficult things to do. Turn lamps on and off.
I know.
When it's dark in my room.
Heaven, you wouldn't want to do that.
It is unbelievable how lazy one can get. And if you guys have not seen the Amazon AARP ad for the new Echo Dot for old people, it's on YouTube, and it is one of the funniest things that I have ever seen. I have sent it to all kinds of people, and I have to watch it each time before I send it, and I still belly laugh.
What other questions do you have?
We're all
Done
sold
well.
out again? Go ahead.
No, I just said, He's done well.
Well, yes, we are sold out. We do have a couple apartments that are gonna be coming back to us. And then we have people that are interested in looking and probably gonna be depositing on those. All 30 of these homes are still spoken for. Selections are final. They've given us checks for those selections, besides their 10% deposits. Those selection checks are non-refundable. So again, another step towards commitment. And the marketing team has a number of events over the course of the next really 8 months until they move in to keep them informed, keep them updated, keep them engaged, keep them so that when they walk through the doors, they're ready for East Castle Place, and East Castle Place, they know what to expect. So,
And there's some shifting going on within the buildings.
there is.
Yeah.
There's some internal moves,
Interesting, yeah.
and there's always going to be that. And again, sometimes we look at the pieces of the puzzle, and it's a little bit of a shell game or Jenga, and but at the same time, it will all work out. And at the end of the day, we will continue to welcome your new neighbors, and you continue your phenomenal part in being that fantastic neighbor and making East Castle what it is. So, but yeah, there's always something going on in the marketing department. They're never not busy. We just had Miss Myers move in Tuesday. Judy Myers.
She was gonna come. We encouraged her to come.
Yeah,
She wasn't
in the
there.
tornado. That was interesting. We did it was a Wednesday. It was Wednesday. So we had our critical shutdown for Bradford Terrace, and got done with that from 10 to noon. Got all the lights back on, got everything back going, and then all of a sudden we're straight into a tornado drill and bringing everybody out in the middle of the hallways on 3, 4, and 5 as part of our policy and protocol. So fortunately, obviously, no damage, no sustainment, but
Better safe than sorry, yeah.
so yeah.
Okay.
Anything else? All right. Well, thank you, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Enjoy your weekend. You'll see Anna here this weekend.
Oh,
She is your fearless leader this weekend, and then you'll also see construction crews, but hopefully you won't see them. You'll
Hear them.
just hopefully you won't hear them either because we'll be over in Bradford Terrace, but it will be working all weekend long.
It's gonna be a fun next month, with so many things.
Yeah,
coming
I'm just hopeful that the fun kind of stops intermittently when I leave and everything is transitioning or in works, and we're at a breaking point where then I can come back and kind of pick back up. But again, I have a great team around me, and I have full confidence that if I'm here or not here, things will continue.
There, you will be answering your phone.
I will be answering my phone and checking emails, but just not as
Between diaper changes.
readily as accessible.
Just you have to remember, nobody is indispensable.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely
When's that
not.
baby coming?
October. Thank God it's not October. November 29th is the due date.
Okay.
We are right on track there, but the doctor may let us go a week early. So November 22nd might be the date, or whenever that little guy wants to come.
Exciting.
So
May have a turkey.
may have a turkey. May have a turkey.
Funny.
Yeah. Have Thanksgiving. The one thing I am happy about is we don't have to host Thanksgiving this year. Nobody wants to, risk not having the turkey if I'm having the turkey, So yeah, there's other plans in place for that. So it's because usually it's one of my favorite holidays to host.
Mine
'Cause
too.
I just and I usually smoke the turkey. So I have a smoker at home, and it's nice and juicy, and it is phenomenal. And then we always do a ham, and then I have my mom bring the stuffing and potatoes, all the fun. But this year, I'm gonna eat it somewhere else. So my
Enjoy.
guess is out of a box.
Yeah, that's right, a bag. And you can get one, you can deliver it.
There you go.
A bag, yeah.
There you go. So
We know where you can find some styrofoam boxes.
yeah, and brown paper bags.
Yeah.
You guys know where that? Okay.
Oh,
Well,
thank God, styrofoam will be cut back
Oh.
when they're done. See, I just go crazy with
Yeah.
that styrofoam thing.
dramatically.
Yes, oceans, mountains are.
Yeah. So,
Great.
all right. Well, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Okay, shall we turn this?